I had just finished my morning coffee when my phone buzzed, with a message from him, my ex. It had been months since we last spoke, and I honestly thought our chapter was closed forever. Seeing his name pop up brought back a whirlwind of memories, both good and bad. His message was casual, almost innocent, asking how I had been and if I could spare a few minutes to talk. I hesitated but eventually responded, curious yet cautious. He told me he was leaving for deployment in a few weeks. The news hit me harder than I expected. Part of me felt sorry for him, imagining him in some foreign land, away from everyone he loved. As we exchanged messages, I noticed a strange formality in his tone. It was nothing like the man I had once known. This was someone hiding behind layers of discipline and secrecy. A week later, he called. His voice was familiar but distant. He spoke about missing the life we had, the laughter, the late-night talks, and how he had always regretted how things ended. He even mentioned my wife, casually slipping it into the conversation. I froze. My mind raced. Wife? He never mentioned a wife before. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Anger, betrayal, and shock all collided at once. I confronted him immediately through text, demanding the truth. The messages I received were defensive, almost apologetic, but vague enough to ignite my fury. He admitted he had married someone else months before he contacted me. I felt humiliated, like a fool who had been manipulated into thinking a romance still mattered. My heart sank, but beneath the pain, a spark of resolve began to grow. I couldn't let him think he had power over my emotions any longer. That spark turned into a plan. I decided to show him that deceit had consequences. Not through violence or malice, but by reclaiming my life with everything he had taken for granted. I started a new project I had shelved for years, threw myself into work, and rebuilt the parts of me that had been tangled in his lies. Each achievement, every small victory, became a silent message he would never see, a reflection of the life he could have had with me, now thriving without him. By the time he left for deployment, I was a different person. I had laughed harder, worked harder, and loved myself in ways I had never allowed before. When he finally reached out again months later, it was too late. I was no longer the girl waiting for his words or his attention. The sting of betrayal had transformed into empowerment, and I realized that the best revenge wasn't in making him suffer, it was in living, beautifully, freely, and entirely on my own terms.